I was entertained. I had some fun watching this from my tablet in bed and drinking my Pepsi. I did not take any notes. As you can tell, there's no notes here, so I'm kind of panicking because I don't know what I'm going to say. But it shouldn't be that hard because there was only 5 matches and it took 3 effing hours to do that because there was more commercials than anything else. And backstage stuff, shenanigans, recapping stuff. This was the highlight of the night. Chelsea right there. Wow. All right. It started off with the men's Money in the Bank. I always find that these matches are really good. There's always going to be like a bunch of moves that are being done where you go, oh shit. And this was no exception, even though I think the women's match was better. But, you know, whatever. And Drew McIntyre won. And I was happy about that. I mean, of course, there's other people in there I would have liked to have seen win the match. But sometimes, as I've mentioned before, I'm not a creative writer. It's hard for me sometimes to be like, no, I really feel like right here should have been this guy. Sometimes I could do it, and sometimes I don't feel confident enough to do it. It could have been LA Knight. This was, in a way, not really, kind of a waste of a Money in the Bank because of what happened later on. However, that was sacrificed to elevate that storyline to greater heights is clearly why they did that. Okay, so that's the men's one right there. You've already seen it. Now let's talk about this one, the Intercontinental Championship. So this did 2 things, and it could have gone. So it went like this. Sami Zayn was elevated. Braun Breaker went down a little bit, but they actually could have both gone up. You see what I'm saying there? By changing this one piece, he died to one Helluva Kick. No, he's a main eventer. Push him as one. It took Cody Rhodes slamming Roman Reigns' head 3 times with the crossroad. Okay? So for me, 3. Absolute beast Braun Breaker is. Have the match go on an extra just a couple of minutes, remove some of the fluff that we saw, and have Sami Zayn still win, still retain, but make Braun Breaker look even stronger. Make him look a little bit more green. Maybe he makes an extra couple of mistakes, hurts himself a bit more, so then it's his own strength, his own demise that he brought upon himself. Take an extra couple of Helluva Kicks. Hell, even have it on the 3rd one where he goes into the corner, face first. Maybe he was charging, you know, when he goes the ropes at like 23 miles an hour. Maybe he went to charge. Sammy moved out of the way at the last second. He goes chest first into the turnbuckle. Sami Zayn comes back and Helluva kicks him in the back of the head, and that would be the 3rd one, right in the back of the noggin. And that takes out Breaker. Braun Breaker broke too easily. But it was a great match. But this really elevated Sami Zayn. But to a stupid height. Because he was already there to begin with. He's already believable. So they kind of overdid it, in my opinion, and did a disservice to Braun Breaker. But again, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's how I feel inside. Okay? Oh, boy. Oh, boy, oh, boy. God damn, there's some shit to talk about this match. So, Seth fucking Rollins, yeah, that's right, the real F-bomb, took on Damian Priest. And what ended up happening was El Campeon didn't kick out. We all heard it. Didn't kick out. He just stood there for the 3 count, even though the ref stopped after 2. And that is because when Drew McIntyre cashed in his briefcase, the music hit too late. That's why on the 2nd count, you could see Damian's index finger having a stroke, having a seizure. He was saying, hit that music, let's go. So he just laid there. Where he made a mistake, though, is he should have still kicked out. then that would have saved the whole thing. So it was a botch, but honestly, anybody who watches this that doesn't realize wrestling is scripted and it's a live event, you see what I'm saying? It's really not that big of a deal. This wouldn't happen in a real non-scripted fight because you don't know what the outcome is, right? Because you're actually fighting. This is putting on a show, putting on a clinic, as the expression goes. So two people sort of kind of technically screwed up in the heat of the moment, because there's also this other weird unwritten rule: count to 3 no matter what. I don't know if that's true, but then that would have completely screwed things up. That would have been a greater botch, because then Seth would have won, and it wasn't supposed to be that way. What I said was, why did Drew come out when he did? Think about it. Why make it a triple threat? Make it harder on yourself when it's not even that far into the match, when you could just wait till the end for the easy pickings, right? I think it's just because he wanted to show off, honestly. From, like, again, a scripted perspective, right? From a kayfabe perspective. I think it was just to do that. It's like, I don't care. I'm going to maul these two bastards, and I'm really going to show that I'm strong. I said I was going to win Money in the Bank. He did it. He's going to cash it on the same night. He did it. But then he kind of got his ass beat by CM Punk, and that's the part of the controversy that some people are like, oh my God. Because he now also cost Seth Rollins his chance, and he can never go for a title opportunity as long as Damian Priest is champ. Now, Damian Priest is going to face Gunther at SummerSlam. That's the one where, with all due respect, I don't know if that's the right move. I kind of truly feel like in this match, I mean, there's other people, because he had the title for like over a year. He was the first World Heavyweight Champion with the new belt for that new era. I kind of feel like somebody else could have been in there as a placeholder. They still would have been good to win this match, and then maybe lose to, Seth at SummerSlam. I don't know. Or have Seth win again, but then lose at SummerSlam to Gunther. Or it might as well just keep Damian Priest in there. Like, there's all these different... Or just let Drew McIntyre have his moment. I really do feel like he does deserve his moment, and I think that's going to be one of the biggest payoffs later on. Is all the time he keeps getting screwed. Oh, and that was the other thing I wanted to mention, sorry, is are we done screwing Drew? I feel like this is the last one. I feel like he's been cashed in twice. Now he wins Money in the Bank for the first time in his life, if I'm not mistaken. Gets that completely removed from him again. I feel like this is the last time that should happen. I don't know where it should go from here. In the middle of this video, without my notes, I feel very naked right now. I feel vulnerable. But I feel like Gunther could be a real... I'm not saying Seth couldn't, LA Knight couldn't. Like, it's easy to be like, oh, all these guys deserve to hold it, to touch it for a certain amount of time. But at the same time, we don't want to be passing around the belt like we used to, like a hot potato. We want it so that when people win it, they kind of hold it for a while. Like at least a good solid couple of months. Like a good, I don't know, 60, 70, 80, 90 days, like minimum, I feel like, to kind of, you know what I mean? But I don't like it getting passed around too much, because then you'll end up at one point, well, Jay got it, LA Knight got it, Seth got it, Damian got it, everybody got it, Drew, Punk, like, no. And at the same time, you don't always need the belt to be a top guy. A lot of people think Seth Rollins is a much better wrestler than Cody Rhodes. I would actually kind of agree with that. I like them both, but for different reasons, because they're very different. But I'm very okay because of how the story built up. It was incredible. So for me, Seth doesn't need the championship. I'm not saying he shouldn't get it. So yeah, this whole thing was weird for me. Not the CM Punk bit. Actually, as a matter of fact, it's too bad that CM Punk didn't do what he did, completely made it look like Drew was going to lose, and to be fair, somehow still ended up winning. I don't know. I didn't really like the way it ended. So I'm still like really dwelling on this moment. But yeah, as far as the Damian Priest things goes, yeah, he should have just kicked out, and it would have just made more sense rather than just laying there. But honestly, it's not that big of a deal. I don't think. You know, I don't know. Tiffany Stratton wins the Money in the Bank ladder match. Just wow. What an incredible match. My personal favorite that I was hoping for, but it looks like they're really pushing Tiffy, would have been Naomi. For me personally. But just definitely not Lyra Valkyria, with all due respect. Io Sky, not again. Not right away. Not saying Tiffy's not deserving of it. There's a lot of people saying some stuff online about Tiffy. I don't even want to get into that because I actually already made a video on it. So I guess I'll talk about it briefly. That thing that, you know, she posted that video where it called Jade Cargill VITCH. Okay. Some people are using that event to say that she shouldn't have won because of that. I'll just bluntly say that that's stupid. I truly put the benefit of the doubt into people that she simply did not know that audio was there, which would explain why she uploaded it and deleted it like in less than a minute. If she knew what was on there, she would have felt comfortable. She just would have left it up there. If you care to know what I thought about that quickly. So no, at this point, it sounds rude, but it's like, let's move on. Okay? It could have been a big deal. It was made to be a bigger deal than what it needed to be. We don't know what went on behind closed scenes. For all we know, behind the scenes, behind closed doors, the scene doesn't close. Anyhow, I'm pretty confident that she privately addressed Jade and said, listen, that looks really bad. Let me explain myself. I honestly did not know that audio was there. Some people even heard the audio and didn't even know that the word black was said first. Like, it took them a couple of times to realize that that's what was even being said. And then some people will argue, well, even if that's what was said, is she not black? So why is it a big deal? We're not going to get into that angle of it because I've already addressed that part of it. I just wanted to share that because that was all over social media. So no, by this point, trust me, because look what they did to Hogan. Right? They wiped him off the face of the earth like he never existed. Now he's back into controversy again. I might make a separate video on that. But yeah, putting that aside, Tiffy or Naomi. Personally, I would have preferred Naomi myself, but whatever. It is what it is. And then there's something here that wasn't even mentioned, which is a good thing. I remember it off the top of my head. Maybe it's like somewhere in here. I don't know. But anyhow, the Bloodline match was good. I enjoyed this. The Bloodline did defeat Cody Rhodes and all them. I was hoping somebody was going to come out. But it was a little bit of a 4-on-3. So Tanga Loa. Oh, that's what happened. That botch. Oh my God, that was funny. How do you not know where a person's balls are? Right? The low blow. It took him like 3 times to get in there to low blow Kevin Owens. That to me was a bigger botch than what Damian Priest did. Okay, that was just funny, but and it was Tanga. Yeah, there's Loa, Tanga. There's anyways, you know who I'm talking about. The one that was in the suit. Let me look at. Hold on. No, not Tamatonga. No. Pretty sure it's Tongaloa. Well, they don't have his name there. They don't even have John Cena's name there, and he was there because he talked about his retirement thing. So he did a post-conference after the fact. Anyways, I had fun with the match. Jesus. But I was hoping that right at the last minute, Roman Reigns' music would have hit. Or something to do with Jimmy Uso. You know, they got to build a storyline. SummerSlam is coming soon. So they got to build something where maybe he's trying to redeem himself. Jimmy Uso needs to pull a face move. And Roman Reigns has already been decided by the crowd that he's going to be face. And it's like they need to start making these appearances at these big PLEs to slowly build up. Hey, bitch, I'm back. I am back. We chatted backstage. We had a good chat. Whatever. They could have had Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso come out with Paul Heyman. And we wouldn't have seen how that came about to come together. Just something. Because I feel like we're running out of time. But, again, what do I know? Right? So that, like I said, was pretty funny. And then the John Cena thing, really quick. I wonder if I should talk about that. Oh, man, how long have I been recording? 16 minutes. So the John Cena thing is really simple. Next year is the farewell tour of John Cena. And I haven't watched it, but the snippets that I got from Twitter, I'm going to keep calling it Twitter, get over it. On Twitter is that next year's is last year. So next year, you know, that's going to be his last Royal Rumble, his last elimination, going to be his last elimination chamber. He didn't use the word Money in the Bank. Then he said it's going to be his last WrestleMania. That's not going to be his last match, though. He didn't say it's going to also be my last SummerSlam and Survivor Series. But I do think it's going to go until the end of 2025. Point being, next year is officially his last year. What I might make the video on is the more in-depth details and then discussing whether or not he should break Ric Flair's record as the 16-time champ and become a 17-time. Which, if you want the quick answer, the short of it is I do believe he should break it. Plain and simple. Plain and effing simple. And that's it. Oh, Chelsea. I would, come to think of it, I would have been okay with her winning too. But at the same time, not just because we were in Canada. Because that becomes like a bit like, right? Like Drew in Scotland. Let's have him win because he's in Scotland. No. Sometimes, yes, but I don't always like it when they do that. Anyhow. Tiffy up there like, girl, bye. This is mine. Is that how they do it? I think I got rid of the kink in my wrist. Anyhow. Hope you all had a pleasant evening watching this. I had fun. That's the main takeaway from this is overall, I had fun with this. Okay? It's easy to nitpick and start dissecting. Well, they should have done that. Oh, why didn't they do that? And it's okay to do that if you want to really analyze it. But it's like I said before, I try to not sugarcoat it, but I try to focus more on the positives just so it's not so mentally draining to be so negative all the time. Like, who wants to listen to that? I'm pretty upbeat and positive, and I'm already not getting that much traction on my channel to begin with. You think it's going to work out well for me even more if I just start dunking on everything? Unless I made it funny and I was like raging and whatever. But yeah, anyways, thumbs up as always if you liked the video. It does greatly help support the channel with the algorithm. Leave comments, ask questions if you want. Hopefully I'll be able to get to them. I don't get too many comments on this channel on the daily. My main channel, though, this is not a bragging thing. I only got 30,000 subs. Took me 5 years to get there. But that one, I get an absolute buttload of questions daily. It's actually really hard to keep up with. So anyhow, thumbs up if you liked it. Thumbs down if you didn't like it. You'll get the Solo Sikoa spike in the rectum. And again, this time it's going to be Solo Sikoa's thumb. He did Heyman dirty. Now it's going to be his thumb. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, I mean, naturally, that would be great. But if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care. And hopefully, maybe, I'll see some of you in the next one. Bye for now.